What's up, y'all? It's Ayir back here with another video.
Touchdown, Wyoming! Ayir Asante!
Ayir Asante! Gallops in! Holy Cross win!
I'm in a new location. Right now I'm down in Florida with my boys Jason and Justin right now in Hollywood, Florida. Kicking it. I had to get out of that cold weather for a little bit, change up the scenery, but I'm here today to talk to y'all about, the transfer portal. If you're considering going to the portal and everything like that, I would say, man, stop the media stuff and start here. Understand who you are and what you put on film. At the end of the day, anyone could tell you, you yourself, anyone that has Twitter or anything like that sees there's a million kids in the portal, right? And these coaches are not going through each school and looking at each person and sitting down and, all right, why are they transferring? What's their situation? What's their story? No one has that time. That's not what they're doing. A lot of the times, they're going and looking at averages. All right, like if you're a receiver, how many yards do you have? How many touchdowns? How many X plays? And, there's a website called PFF where they break down all that stuff, and they have you marked. You have grades. Who has the highest grade. So, again, if you're one of those guys that has high grades and high stats and stuff like that, probably should be easier for you in the portal. But if you're one of those guys that doesn't have that type of stuff, it may be something for you to consider. Another thing is, a lot of this stuff is connections based, right? That's no secret. You might see a kid go from one school to a Power 5 or a Power 4 out of nowhere. You might not think he deserved it or whatever. You never know what connections may be there. So again, the comparison stuff, you kind of got to put that stuff aside and just realize, all right, what have I done? What have I put on film? Sit there and watch your film, and you got to look at it through this lens. If I was someone that had no idea who I am and I'm watching this, what would I think of this player? Almost think it, sit there and look at it like it's not you. You got to be like, all right, off of the film alone, because think about it, they're not watching your practice film. They're not looking at your highlights on Snapchat or Instagram story. They're not looking at your highlight tape. They're not. They're looking at your film. So you're like, all right, if someone's watching my film, what are they gonna say? And are you putting speed on film? Are you making the right reads? Are you making the play when it comes to you? Or are you shying away from the play? Are you know what I mean? And that's all the type of stuff that you have to ask yourself, because again, those are the honest questions that is going to be asked by the people evaluating you, right? And at the end of the day, I always say you got to think about it as someone who's not rooting for you. And some people ask me like, what do you mean by that? It's like, these people that are evaluating whether you should be good enough for their team, they're not looking out for you. They don't know who you are, right? At the end of the day, there's a million kids in the portal. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not going to be able to, all right, this kid, this kid's a good kid. Nah, like, that's not what it is. It's, if we win, I keep my job. You see how quickly they're firing coaches now, and they fired a head coach. They're wiping the whole staff and everything like that. These people are people too, right? They trying to put food on their tables. At the end of the day, they're like, all right, they got to identify their weaknesses on their team, and then they try to find people in the portal who can help their team. If they don't pass the ball well, they're like, hey, we got to get some good receivers in. We got to get a good quarterback. If they can't run the ball, hey, we got to get a good running back in. Because now with all this turnover, right, people aren't getting allowed 3, 4, 5, 6 years to bring in their own recruiting class and build up a culture and stuff like that. It's a culture of win now. So they got to win now. If they don't have, if they have a deficiency, they have to answer it with the portal. That's just how it is. You got to know what you want out of the portal. So when I went into the portal, I had a bunch of FCS schools. Pretty much almost every FCS school offered me, because I felt like I did what I had to do my 4 years at Holy Cross, and we were able to win our championships and win some playoff games and go on runs and stuff like that. So I might have had more notoriety amongst FCS schools. So they were quick to offer me and everything like that. And then especially some of those schools down south, they were offering me a decent amount of money. But for me, the NIL really wasn't what it was about. It was about making that move to go to the NFL, right? And whatever school was going to give me the best opportunity. And now I'll say that, but it wasn't about the biggest school, right? It wasn't like, all right, I just got to go to the biggest school that I can get, that'll offer me the biggest conference, because I had some bigger schools. I had some schools in the Big Ten, had some schools, in the Big 12 and ACC and stuff like that. But it's all about the fit, right? You got to understand, like, all right, yeah, they're offering me, and you know, I had one coach, you know, that I talked to, and he's like, you know what, hey, I like you a lot. We want you to come here. You know, we think you can be one of our guys, but we're bringing in 8 receivers. Now, again, I'm not afraid of any type of competition or anything like that, but you gotta understand, I had 1 year, right? You gotta take all of this into account. I got 1 year. I have to make it, right? This has to be the shot. So if they're bringing in 8 guys, think about it. They're telling all 8 guys the same stuff, and they don't know which one of us is gonna win and be that guy. You know, which one of us is gonna be the second string. You know, and I couldn't afford that type of risk. You know, you gotta. It's all calculated risk. You gotta understand. You know, if this goes wrong, how wrong could it go? And if it goes right, how right can it go? And am I okay with the wrong? And do I love the right? That's pretty much what you got to do. So I say a lot to say, man, if you're trying to go to the NFL, you know, go somewhere that gives you the best shot to go to the NFL. It gives you the best shot to show who you are, show your skill set, pull that stuff on film, on tape, allow you to make plays, and, you know, give you that right exposure. If you don't think you're going to the NFL, then, you know, go to the school where you're going to have the most fun, or especially now, you know, go to the school that's going to pay you the most amount of money. I mean, why not? You know, you have schools that are willing to pay people life-changing money to play college football, which is a beautiful thing. It wasn't like being recruited coming out of high school, right? When you're coming out of high school, you're 18, 17, 19, whatever, and, you know, they're pitching the school to you. All right, you get your degree or whatever. Here's our jerseys. This is what our fans are. Man, when you're in the portal, they're saying, this is what we have and this is what we want from you. And you're like, all right, this is who I am and this is what I want from you. It is business. Like, you ought to say, hey, coach, where do you see me? What do you want me to do for y'all? You know, how many guys are you bringing in? You know, when do you want me to commit? And then if it's important to you, you know, what's the NIL situation like? That's the conversation you have to have, right? You're going to be talking to, I mean, depending on what your recruitment is like, you know, you're going to be talking to a decent amount of teams. And like me, I'm impatient. I'm like, you don't got to be talking to me all day. You know, I don't need to talk to 4 different coaches from your school. You know, just, like, man, I just need to talk to whoever I need to talk to and get the points across. This is what you need. This is, you know what I mean, all that, have those conversations. And, you know, again, because it's business, right? It's way more business-like than it's ever been before. The last thing I want to talk to y'all about is jumping in that portal is like jumping in the deep end, right? Some people can swim and you will be fine. Some people can't swim and they'll drown. That's just what it is. So you have to understand that risk and be okay with whatever decision you make. And the reason why I say that is this. The rosters are being cut down from whatever number it was before to 105. So now each team is already going to have to reduce the amount of people that they have at their school. So you have a bunch of these kids that are like, I don't like my situation or whatever it may be, and then they enter the portal. So now, as anyone's seen on any social media, the portal is flooded with developmental kids, you know, polished kids, you know, monsters, whatever. It's packed. I say that to say, there's more kids in the portal than schools need. There's more supply than there is demand. So some people are going to be left in the portal. Another thing is, man, for me and my family, it was important for me to get my degree. So after my senior season at Holy Cross, they don't have any, you know, fast track or anything like that. So it's going to take you 4 years to graduate. So I entered the portal, and a lot of those schools wanted me to come, you know, early spring, go into spring ball so they could see what they got and everything like that. And I understand it from their perspective, but from my perspective, you know, I had to get this degree. That was something that was important to me. And, you know, I told them, and, you know, it was what it was. You know, I lost some opportunities from certain schools, but at the end of the day, like, I bring all that up to say, like, man, don't let these schools get you out of what you want, right? They're trying to get something out of you. You got to get something out of them. I got my degree, you know, from Holy Cross. You know, I did my 4 years, my 8 semesters, and I always will have that. And then I was able to go and, you know, do whatever I wanted with the football and let it take me however far it's going to go. So, you know, you can have both worlds, and you should, honestly. You get the opportunity to, you know, get your college paid for. It's a unique opportunity. You know, a lot of people would kill for that opportunity. And, you know, just make the best of it. And, you know, again, like I said, you weigh out that calculated risk. You know, you're like, all right, there's all this reward, but there's all this risk. You know, you find your risk tolerance. What are you willing to risk, and go from there. You know, but always bet on yourself, and always be realistic with yourself. Always bet on yourself. You know, if you're working like that, if you put in that work, if you know what I mean, grinding and keep your head down, and you keep the main thing, you will be all right. So, you know, I didn't want to make this video to scare anybody or anything like that, but I did want to, you know, just put this out there just in case, you know, because a bunch of kids, a bunch of, you know, dudes I was playing with and stuff like that, reaching out to me about, you know, whether I think they should enter the portal or not and stuff like that. So, you know, I thought it was just perfect to make this video, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got for y'all. I'm about to, you know, enjoy this weather, you know, even though it's a little windy, still 75 and sunny, so can't beat it. I'm gonna get back to that. But, you know, as for usual, you know, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. You guys have any more questions, you know, reach out to me, Ayir Asante on Instagram, Twitter, and then Ayir Official on Snapchat. I get back to everybody, you know, appreciate y'all so much. Everyone, you know, dropping comments, the likes, the subscribers. You know, I think we're almost at 100 subscribers already. You know, first video broke 500 views. Like, it's coming along, and I'm feeling the love, and, you know, I'm just so grateful and super excited, you know, for where I'm taking this channel. So again, I just want to say thank you all to all of y'all, you know, watching the video. You know, share this with anyone that, you know, think that could take some away from it. And yeah, all right, peace.